What is up, AfterBuzzers? Welcome to the first ever after-show discussion for Good Trouble. Today we're going to be talking about the pilot episode titled DTLA. Callie starts work as a clerk for a federal judge. Mariana begins her job as a software engineer. And in true Adams Foster fashion, there is already relationship drama. Let's get into some Good Trouble. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
This is a true bop, you guys. Like, I'm gonna need to download this on Spotify ASAP, I feel like.
This is good workout music.
It really is. Like, it only seemed appropriate. This is how Callie and Mariana start their new journey. This is how we're gonna start this new journey. What is up, you guys? I am your host, Taylor Gates. You might recognize me. I subbed on the Foster's After Show a couple times, one of my favorite shows of all time. I am joined by two awesome ladies tonight.
Hey guys, I'm Chae Jones.
And I'm Meagan Lynn. I'm super excited to be here with all this girl power at the table to talk about a show about girl power.
So much. And we will have another host, Coterie Jones, joining us next week. But you're right. It's just all about the girl power this week. Guys, we have so much to talk about. This pilot episode was chock full of new characters that I loved, old characters that I continue to love. But before we dive right into it, let's get some overall thoughts. What did you guys think of this episode? And were you a big fan of the Fosters?
You can go first.
I watch The Fosters religiously, so I've been waiting and waiting for the show. I think they chose definitely the two strongest, most compelling, interesting characters to front it, and I'm really excited to see who else is coming into the mix.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. I have watched episodes of The Fosters, and I am such a Bradley Bredoway fan, so I'm really excited to see this spin on Mariana and Callie's life because adulting is hard, and I'm so happy that that was like the first thing they touched on.
Absolutely, and I feel like this is such a relatable show, like, especially living in Los Angeles, as, you know, we through do, you're obviously visiting Los Angeles, and being a millennial woman, like, they're touching on so much great stuff, and they've just set up so much, like, awesome stuff, like, there's just so much potential here, and I'm so excited for them to keep on going. So let's dive right in, let's talk about just sort of what's going on in their world. Like, we start pretty soon after the Fosters ended with them in the car, Callie and Mariana, dynamic duo, just singing, bopping along. I love the fact that they sort of integrated the social media into it. Like, we have little Instagram and Snapchat stories, like, throughout. What did you guys think of sort of that, like, style of shooting that they're kind of developing through this?
Well, the pilot was shot by John M. Chu, and if you guys do not know that name, you have not seen Crazy Rich Asians. It is so, but the style that he's filming in is awesome. And I was just like, I love the clips that like kind of go fast forward and back. So it's kind of seeing only like half a picture until the full picture is there, which was amazingly actually to watch a TV show do that.
Yeah, it's very artsy. What did you think of it, Meagan?
Yeah, I think it makes it a lot more immersive. It really puts you into their world right away. And I just think it's also really great to see how that works with their own social media because they're doing a lot of that on their Instagram as well.
For sure. I think that's really cool too. And I think that there's always a risk of recreating different social media things so it like doesn't look right or looks like it's kind of out of touch. But I don't think that's what's happening here at all. I think that it's like so natural like in it, and you're right, it just makes it so personal and just like puts us right into their world, which is really cool. However, you know, not all is sunshine and rainbows like with any that Foster's show or spinoff. Immediately they're faced with some adult problems. They have their U-Haul with all of their stuff, and Mariana's like, it's fine, we'll park right here, you know, right in the yellow, we're a commercial vehicle, it's like, it's whatever. And then they get slapped with a $250 fine pretty right away. Did you guys expect trouble to start so soon for them?
I mean, you moved to LA, so there's that aspect. I mean, I feel like when you park your U-Haul, I've never like seen an actual U-Haul get towed for parking in the yellow. Because I feel like they would know you're trying to move into some place.
Guys,
so that was kind of so
brutal,
unexpected
though.
for me. That was brutal. I have never had to pay for a towing in my life. Thank you, Jesus. Because them fines are not for the faint of heart.
No.
If you do not have the money, okay? And I am with Callie. You said we can park here. You're paying.
Would you have paid, Meagan?
I would have called my mom. I know they're trying to be so independent, and I feel like while they always really were both two strong-headed women, even when they were in high school on the Fosters, their moms always did step in and kind of fight their battles for them to an extent. So it's kind of nice to see them trying to handle it on their own, but I know sooner or later their moms are going to have to jump in and help them out.
Yeah, and we do get a little glimpse of that, which I like, over the phone call, and I just thought it was so funny how they're like, where are you going to go into this, and we're going to be like, everything's going to be fun, they're not going to worry about us at all, and then Mariana starts like crying right away. I'm like, I feel that, like, that's how I am, like I'm going to call my mom, just catch up, and then you just
as soon as
start
you hear
sobbing.
her voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
you want to hide it so hard, but sometimes you just like, Mom is terrible. People just suck.
And it's like, you're not going to keep anything from Stephalina anyway. Like, they know.
no
they
way.
always know. I'm so excited to see them. We'll get more into that with news and things. But, guys, I love seeing them, but I do miss the other family members a little bit. But anyway, of course, we're in a lovely little craftsman on the Fosters. And this is far from that. We are in the Coterie. And it's like kind of a cool setup with like the whole community aspect. They have family dinners, there's like improv classes happening in the living room, but it also, you know, they don't have their own kitchen, they don't have their own bathroom, and their room's a little dirty. What were your guys'
just a little bit?
Yeah, what were your first reactions upon seeing like where they were gonna live?
I thought my college dorm was bad.
Yeah, right.
I mean, for me, I'm okay with the whole sharing of the bathroom. It's like college. Okay, I can deal with that. The kitchen, however, I have issues if my things get taken. If I spent the time and money to buy my food and it's not where I put it, I'm with Malika. You don't need to understand if I don't have my name on it, it's not chores, okay?
I agree. But like, okay, listen, their loft is spacious though. We have to be like that's a lot of space.
Yeah.
Like it's like kind of a cool little artsy setup. Like, I don't know. I'm sort of torn on whether I would personally want to live there or not, but I love how this is kind of what they adapted for this show, because it does give us that like lovely community and family feel that the Fosters did such a great job of, but just in sort of like a chosen like family, you know, from friendship way, you know, instead of like adoption, they're like adopting each other as friends in a way, which is like really sweet. And so like we get some moments of light, and then we just go right back downhill again, because all of their stuff, after has been towed and fined, has been stolen, and they have 2 mattresses left. And so they decide to get drunk and go shopping for work clothes.
This is my only question for like that whole scene. So you just took everything else of my life out of this U-Haul, but you decided to be generous enough to leave me my mattresses.
What a slap in the face.
Like, I'm really trying to figure out what kind of thief are you a little bit. Like, if you're gonna steal everything,
I was kind of wondering too.
you might as well just take everything, because oh my gosh, I have mattresses. Yeah, I mean, you can look at the silver lining of it, but at the same time, you might as well just took everything.
Right? I
We're
agree.
like, yeah, we're too good for used mattresses, but we'll take everything.
We'll take
else.
everything
Right?
Your clothes, your livelihood, your photos of your
like,
family.
Keep the mattress, guys.
Right?
I agree. I thought that was funny. And then we just get this really cool montage of them going to bars, which is like so funny to see that, because like that was always like a huge thing on the Fosters. Like they weren't allowed to drink yet, and now it's like they, you know, they're in that world. They're millennial women, so. What do we do when it gets hard? We go grab a glass of wine and a shot of tequila, you know? And that's exactly what they do. And then we get this really fun, like, shopping for work clothes at this, like, secondhand store. And they even got, like, the cashier into it, which I thought was just, like, so funny.
Ayo, she was killing it. I was like, if that was me, I'd have been back out like, you better work, because I'm here with you for that. Because she actually was, like, in the movement and the rhythm. Like, why are you walking away? She's killing it right now, guys.
Like,
and I love that they got those 2 dolls that look like each other, and you can actually see them like in the background in their room.
That's so funny. I love that. Just like the set design is like always so great on like shows like The Fosters and like this. And I think the music is like helping this feel so fresh and lively to me. Like maybe that's a strange observation, but like it just does feel very like modern and like stuff that I would listen to. Like I can't wait to listen to all of this music, and I think that it's helping like make these scenes kind of come to life, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the new characters that we meet in the Coterie. So we have Alice is who we meet first. We see her carrying like way too much toilet paper. Like she should have had someone help her with that. But I mean, she's a strong, independent woman, so she can handle the toilet paper by herself. And she's a really interesting character. We kind of find out during the family dinner that her parents are sort of like disappointed in her, like she's not living up to their expectations, and also that her mom is trying to set her up with guys, which, I mean, is a problem in and of itself, but the fact that she is a lesbian and she hasn't told them obviously complicates that even more. What were your guys' initial thoughts about Alice?
I love Alice mostly because she said something we all do as women, that we always feel the need to apologize. And I'm sorry, we really need to stop that, because sometimes it's just out of habit.
Snaps to that.
We really have to. You just snapped. Legally blonde, yes, guys. But I really feel as women, we really need to stop apologizing. I mean, it's okay if you say I'm sorry for something you're really sorry about. That is totally okay and fair. But just saying sorry out of habitual saying it, we gotta slow that back. We gotta bring it back and retake it and just be, I'm not sorry for how you feel. Yeah. For something you think I have wronged you for.
Or just even when you're pushing past someone, saying excuse me instead of sorry. Yes. My boss actually gets on me about that a lot. Also a strong, powerful woman. So yes. I agree. They're just integrating so many real life things and real life.
She's loud and she's proud the second she walks in the door, and she's not afraid and not sorry for the space she takes up.
Yes,
which I love.
Very true. And she's just, I feel like she's going to be sort of the glue that holds all of this together. She's managing it. She's, she has the stuff under control, and you can tell that she really cares about everyone in her building, which is really nice to see.
K Squared in the chat says it's an Asian thing, dishonoring the family.
Yeah, I think that they are bringing a lot of sort of different, cultures into this and different, ethnicities into it, which is great and really sort of illuminating, because I obviously don't know that struggle as, a white woman, and which sort of, I guess, brings us into our next character that we meet, which is Malika, who we find out was also in the system but never got adopted. So I think there's going to be some interesting relationships there, considering that was such, a core thing in the Fosters show. And she's also very much an activist. What did you guys think about her character and the way she was sort of introduced?
I love her. Only because I can relate to her. Not just because I'm a black woman as well. It's because I was also in this system for a time. So I get it. I really understand it and what it just means to be, always being a black woman. You always have to fight twice as hard, even more than a black man does, to fight for your place at the table. I totally get it, and I totally support it, and I can't wait to see her journey and her past, because I feel like what she's been through is what made her the woman she is today. We only get the breadcrumbs, and we're not seeing everything. So I'm really excited to see just how she became how she is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited to see her develop, but even what we've seen so far, I feel like she's the type of girl I want to be friends with. And I'm really curious to see how her relationship with Mariana and Callie develops, specifically Callie with her working for a conservative judge.
Yeah, I feel like she's the type of friend who would kind of just tell you like it is and sort of challenge you in ways that you need to be challenged and hold you accountable for things that you need to be held accountable for. I think that she's going to be a very good friend to them, not just that she's going to be invested and care about them, but call them out when they need to be called out, because sometimes these characters, as great as they are, they're flawed, and so I think that she's going to really sort of push them to be better, and that's going to be really exciting to see. We get a super tiny glimpse of Dennis, who is sort of the comic relief, I guess, thus far, who holds the improv classes and is very old school, at the dinner table talking about rotary phones and mixtapes and all of this. What did you guys think of him?
I can't lie, I mixed mixtapes. I thought mixtapes were the cutest thing ever.
Yeah.
For a guy to actually spend, because it takes time to create and make a mixtape for somebody you actually like. That takes dedication. So I actually do miss that. And rotary phones are just kind of fun, because they're just those are fun. Those are fun things. They're very old school, but I love.
Yeah, I'd love to see him develop a romantic interest in the show and then make them a mixtape. I want to know what his taste in music is.
Where's our Dennis spinoff? We need it already, you guys. We need a mini series at least. They did a Girls United web series. Where's my Dennis web series, you guys?
He said he likes Bob Dylan, so he has a very old soul in his way.
And I love it because he's a skinny white boy.
Yeah. I feel like maybe we'll see him be sort of the cool uncle in a way.
Yes.
The wise sort of just older, not like a bum, but you know what I mean, just like the guy who kind of hangs around still. Like, I think he could be a really fun character.
And he's only been celibate for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, you know, we'll see how long that
Practically
lasts.
celibate. So good. Which is, you know, a quote by Davia, who I love. Just the fact that she was introduced, like, we see her, like, in the bathroom just getting ready, and, like, that was, like, almost, like, sort of a life-changing moment for me, just because she is, you know, plus size, and she's a body positive Instagram influencer, and, like, the fact that she's just, like, you know, in her bra and underwear, like, brushing her hair, and, like, I'm just like, wow, like, it's someone who looks like me on TV, which was really cool. What was your reaction to her?
I totally agree. I did my Instagram story. I was just like, Davia, also played by Emma Hutton, is living her best life. And it was a profound moment of television, that fact that it opened with the scene of her just in her underwear, living her best life, doing her, like, combing her hair, because you've never seen somebody like that in that way, so proud of who they are. And then when, you know, we find out later during the family dinner that she used to be anorexic. And what she said was actually so true, and I really wish more girls would think this way. A healthy body is not always a skinny body, and that does not mean you have to be skinny. Mm-hmm. Like, as much as I used to want to be, like, the skinniest thing ever because I thought that was made me more pretty, I love my curves, and the curves are here to stay, guys.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I love Davia. She is a spirit animal now, and I know she's going to get a little bit more crazier as the season goes on.
I feel like what we've seen so far, and we saw this in the Fosters too, they're checking a lot of boxes culturally, racially, sexually, the list goes on and on, but I like that they're not trying to make the conversation about that, they're just letting it be within the narrative.
I think that's such a good point, because I think a lot of times when shows do try to integrate these issues, they do it in, like, a preachy way, or like a, you know, special episode of the week, and you're right, these conversations are unfolding so naturally, you know, around the dinner table, which has just been a theme for so long in this sort of Foster's universe. And so I love that, and I think we're going to see it continue, and I'm really excited about that. And we also get the fact that she's a teacher, and so I want to see her teaching. Like, I think that would be a lot of fun. If not in the show, guys, we need another web series. Like, we're giving content to you left and right, freeform. You're welcome.
Or social media miniseries. They've been killing it on the Good Trouble Instagram.
Yes.
They did the Mariana and Callie room tour. They have that series with Tension that's like The Trouble Is, and they talked about why millennials can't afford to buy houses and things that are just really relatable to this generation.
I agree. I love it. I love all of our new
because our
characters.
credit sucks.
Yeah.
You do not know.
A multitude of reasons. Let's get in sort of like the show's really delving deep into the work lives in Callie and Mariana, which is cool because while it works cohesively, it feels almost like a couple mini shows in one, like workplace dramas, like inside a big family drama, which is cool. Let's talk first about Callie's work. So she's absolutely crushing it. She graduated magna cum laude and is clerking for a federal judge now. Oh my gosh, girl, that is amazing. Except for some people don't think it's so amazing.
You know, because they go to Ivy Leagues, and Ivy Leagues are a little... Yeah, just snobby. I'm not going to even try to pretty that up for you guys. Snobby.
Yeah, they definitely can be, and they definitely are in the case of Rebecca and Ben. What are your guys' first impressions of them?
I'm confused about who to trust, if either of them, because they each say the opposite thing about each other. Then Judge Wilson tells Callie, oh, don't listen to them. They just go to Ivy's and like to rub it in everyone else's face. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see how the relationships between them work.
I agree. I don't know who to trust either, because it's like there's a devil and an angel on your shoulder, but it's like, who is who?
Yeah.
And it's like, are there two angels? Are there two devils? Like, we don't even know at this point. Like, they're very sort of mysterious. I think you're right. And we don't know their true intentions yet. And we kind of see that unfold in the first couple of scenes, you know, when she is at work. Rebecca tells her, don't say anything about the motion to suppress. Like, just say that you're not informed enough. And Ben's like, oh, well, don't, you know, miss your shot. Like, he wants you to impress him. And Callie decides to give her opinion to Judge Wilson, and he kind of nails her for it. He's like, well, disputes her argument kind of right away and does sort of embarrass her a little bit. Would you guys have, you know, done what Callie did, and were you surprised by what she did?
For me, only because if I don't have the full view of information, I never like to make guesses unless I know I can back them up, if you know what I mean. because he only told her a tidbit. It wasn't just the full story. And because, you know, you don't have the full story, yeah, I'm sorry. I can't give you an informed opinion because I don't have all the facts.
Yeah.
And you just kind of threw me in the wolves, so yeah, don't.
Yeah. What about you, Meagan?
Maybe later on, but not on the first day.
Yeah.
That took some guts, and I'll give that to her. But I felt so bad when the elevator was closing, and she was just jaw drop.
Yeah, he was like, never making an uninformed opinion. It's just like, mic drop.
I was not surprised that Callie did it though, just because she's such a go-getter
not.
and like she's so bold that I was like, this is completely in character for her to just kind of like take the shot. But yeah, it did unfortunately backfire on her. And, you know, the drama just keeps on coming for her, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. We learned from Malika that there's a case going on sort of in Callie's, you know, realm of, you know, work experience about Jamal Thompson, who... It's a case that's 5 years old, and it was about the shooting of an unarmed black man. And Callie kind of takes an interest in this and starts to catch up on the case. Malika tells her that the person that's ruling on it is Judge Lawrence, who is a black judge, and he usually sides on the side of victims of police brutality. And they And then the next day we find out that Lawrence has had a heart attack and Wilson's going to be handling the case. I kind of saw it coming in that it would land in Wilson's ballpark one way or another. Mm-hmm. Did you guys kind of expect that as well?
I didn't, but I should have. Yeah. Only because, you know, it's still a TV show, so obviously point A has to lead to point B. You don't just toss me a case like this and just not going to have it relate to Callie in any way. Cases like that just really upset me. And, like, just in LA alone last year, there have been 25 shootings of an unarmed black person shot by the cops. 25 in LA alone last year.
Yeah. It's, like, a very topical issue, and the fact that they're exploring it in such a way, again, that feels very natural and feels like something, you know, conversations that would just happen naturally instead of just kind of like doing it to do it and to be relevant. I think it's just really great writing. And so we have Callie kind of struggling what to do here because Rebecca's telling her, you know, you can't just write the liberal argument, like he doesn't have time to weed through that, things like that. And Callie decides to do it anyway because she likes making things harder on herself, as she says.
I mean, I gotta give it up to her. Like, you know what your strength is, and sometimes going harder might not always be smarter or the best for other people, but it's best for you. And at the end of the day, you still have to go home and look at yourself in the mirror and be either proud or ashamed of what you did that day.
Yeah, and I think that she can be proud of what she did because, like, she's following her heart. She's doing what she thinks, you know, is right in this circumstance. And so I was happy that she decided to do that. Judge Wilson wasn't too happy that she decided to do that, you know, in the little conversation they had in his office. He says that he's not impressed by passion, and he doesn't believe in judicial activism. Did you think he was being harsh, or did you think that he would have a change of heart after Callie did write up that memo?
I'm going to take that first, and I'll go after.
I feel like their relationship is going to develop more to one of, like, respect for Callie. She's not afraid to push the envelope, and she's not afraid to take on issues that are bigger than herself because she believes in them, and that's what's in her heart. And I think that goes back to a lot of, like, the family values and empathy and relationships that we saw in the Fosters. And I think her heart for other people is going to continue. And I think eventually, like, there has to be more to Judge Wilson. He has to have a softness somewhere in his heart.
I agree, because there's very, very few black and white characters on these shows, if any at all. Like, everyone's gray and everyone's flawed and has all these complexities. And so I agree with you. I think it might take a while, but I think that we will see Judge Wilson start to be affected by Callie in one way or another. And I think you're right, start to respect her more.
Mm-hmm. I think it was interesting what he said. He's not moved by, like, empathy or passion. Like, he's there for the law, which on one hand is a great thing. You want your judge, but at the same time, there should be a little bit of empathy in your heart for the cases you're taking because they are either high profile enough where you have to have 3 law clerks working for you, and 2, when your decision is going to decide the well-being of another case that comes up just like it. I feel like there's a lot more factors than just, oh, this is the law and the law is the law. Like, it can't be that. Obviously, the law is black and white. I totally get it. But again, we don't live in a black and white world. We live in a gray world. And people forget that.
Exactly. I think that's absolutely very well said. And there is, there's certain levels of interpretation that does have to go into it because, yes, the law is black and white, but it's like you could think it means one thing. Like, the wording of it could make you think it means another thing. And there's all these cases that they can reference from the past, and it's like, which one are you going to kind of take into account and make the argument of? And so I'm really excited to see. I think they're doing a really cool job, giving us a peek into this sort of law world. Like, obviously there's, like, Law and Order, which I love, and, like, Scandal and all of that, but seeing it from sort of, like, a new person's perspective is really cool.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, we do find out that Callie actually is clerking the Jamal Thompson case, which is awesome, but also is going to cause some drama, of course. But Rebecca seems to think he's just making her sort of a counter clerk so she can make the opposing argument, so he's prepared to knock it down, which, yikes.
On one hand, that's like, I feel like she expected to get the clerkship, so that also made her a little bit petty for saying that. I mean, obviously, she has to go with whatever the judge says, but pettiness was clear. Just a little bit. It was there underneath that surface.
I do see a spark of maybe, like, admiration, like, for Callie, like, in Rebecca's eyes, though. I don't know, some of the looks, I was just like, I think that she's interested in her.
I think she's interested in her bravery because I don't think she says that. I think she bites her tongue a lot, and that's why she's given Callie the advice she's given. I also think, and this is just my theory, but something big is going to happen in Judge Wilson's personal life that's going to cause him to be more empathetic towards others. I don't know, but I feel that coming because I feel like we have to get more of him.
Yeah, I think that's a really good thought. I think that's a really good prediction. I think that could be a good way because sometimes it takes it, happening to you, something happening to you before you kind of change your perspective on it.
Yeah.
Oh, hey guys, sorry to cut you off, but Dakota T. Jones has joined us in the chat.
We miss you.
Yes, we're so excited for you to join us next week. Let's switch gears just a little bit and talk about Mariana's sort of work environment, which is just proven to have just as many struggles as Callie. Some, different struggles, though, because she is a software engineer at this tech startup, which is obviously a very male-dominated field. Although the software engineering place looks pretty bomb. There's like a ping pong,
it looks like a Google
Whiskey
office.
Fridays.
It's seriously like a mini version of Google in downtown LA. And can I get an application?
Right?
I want a massage.
It's like, do they ever work?
I
though?
take a massage minus the massage.
I guess late at night when they're coding.
Yes, so it was a pretty sweet workplace. So like 10 out of 10 would recommend. The amenities, at least. The company, maybe not so much. Her team is 3 guys, big shocker, and they immediately tell her to do data entry, which is just so insulting. Like, she's a coder. Like, she's above this.
And you know how the guy kept repeating data entry.
Data
entry.
I don't know how you pronounce it, but
and I was like, oh my god. There's something about entitled guys in their field. And obviously she looks amazing. She came in like at a nice dress on. Her lipstick was there. Okay, it might not be some jeans and a t-shirt, but
they literally look
she
like
should be able to wear what she wants, right?
Who haven't done their laundry in like 3 weeks.
Honestly, right?
I'm very unimpressed.
She is put together like she's killing it, and you guys are not putting enough effort in is what's happening here.
Right?
But she gets a little bit discouraged. She then talks to Casey, who's another female engineer there, who's actually a team leader. And I was like, oh, this girl looks pretty cool. Like, she's killing it. And then she tells her not to dress up, which I found like a little bit irritating, but also sad, because I feel like maybe in a way she like did try at first too, and just had to like learn that the hard way through herself. What did you guys think about Casey, and do you think that we'll see more of her?
I definitely believe they don't just show us somebody for us not to see them again. So I definitely think she'll be, circling, hopefully, trying to guide Mariana through the waves of boredom.
Yeah.
That is happening.
Yeah. I'd also like to see Mariana kind of have an influence on her similar to Callie, kind of, like pushing the boundaries, like go in and wear what you want. Right. Because you're still just as smart. You still have the degree from MIT, for crying out loud. like what you wear doesn't dictate how much respect you get, or it shouldn't.
Absolutely. I think that would be great. Like, you know, have the mentor kind of teach, or have the mentee kind of teach the mentor in a way.
Yeah.
But we do see, you know, Casey's words. She tells her to speak up and have her seat at the table at the same time, which is great. And Mariana does decide to do that. She kind of has a win where she finds, like, the latency in their code. And I was like, you guys are not as great as you thought you were.
And he's so insulted. You mean, like, my code?
Yeah. Yes, your code. And then she also, sort of towards, like, the end of the episode, she replaces, like, the file with all the boob gifs, which is just, like, ridiculous. Like, grow up. But she replaces them, kind of turns the tables, and puts all the, like, guys' chests in there, which I thought was, like,
that's the
really
feisty
great.
Mariana that we love and know.
And one of them apparently was Alex's chest, played by Dustin Ingram. And guys, can we just say that if you don't remember on Fabulous, Dwayne Ogilvy has grown up nicely.
Guys, I'm fabulous.
Like,
I can do a whole other after show on Fabulous.
let's just really say that, like, he has aged very well.
Yeah.
Fabulously, some might say.
Nice.
Definitely.
If I had a
Some
little
might
bit
say.
of sound effect, I would use it right now.
See, it's like when it's the other way around and we get to objectify them.
Unfortunately, though, Mariana is having some wins. She's also having some, you know, losses, I would say. Yes. When the person gives her the tour, she's like, listen, Evan Speck is busy and he doesn't like to be approached. So what does Mariana do? Like, the next day in the elevator, approaches him about her new app idea. What did you guys think about that action?
I'm just trying to figure out him out. Like, there's just something, I don't want to say off. So I'm trying to figure out if he's really like the tech guru that he actually emits out, or if there's something else like below the surface that we haven't figured it out yet.
Interesting.
There's definitely something a little bit sideways.
I feel like he tries to play mysterious, but he doesn't act like a leader at all.
Yeah.
And what really got me going was the fact that he was like, yeah, sure, like, send over your idea. And then next thing you know, he has HR on Mariana.
Yeah.
Which is, I just want to say this. I am totally fine if you want to, you know, read me my rights. That is totally your objective as HR. However, if you're going to do it,
not in front of
do
people.
not treat me like I'm a child in front of people I work with. That is the most unprofessional thing I saw in my entire life. You call me to your office. You do it away from prying eyes. Nobody else needs to know the information that just happened prior.
Yeah, I agree. Although, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit irritated at Mariana because I'm like, girl, it's like your second day here. Like, you're not ready to pitch an app yet, especially not to the CEO. Like, I get taking your shot, but it just felt way too early. And I was like, Mariana.
I mean, elevator pitches, she never knew when she's probably gonna get another elevator with him, so.
I guess, but it's like you have to work your way there. Like, she's still so green. Like, she needs to know the environment and, you know, the workplace a little more before she just goes off and does it. But yeah, she gets berated in front of everyone, and then she calls Callie crying, poor thing. And they have this really sweet conversation on the rooftop about how, you know, they're not gonna give up because they're Adam's Fosters. Did you guys love that scene as much as I did?
My favorite part was when the bathroom door opened up and Callie was there.
Yeah.
Like, fell into each other's arms because they'd been holding back so much because they just kind of wanted to, like, impress each other.
Yeah.
But really, they were both struggling.
It was really sweet. I love their sister relationship. They've grown so much, guys.
But I'm just like, if I'm your sister, like, you hear me crying, I don't even need to hear nothing else. Where are you? Where can I meet you? Because that would break my heart. Yeah. Like, my heart would actually be broken in two because you're still my little sister. We might fight and claw, but that's what we do because we're sisters. At the end of the day, I'm going to be there. So open up the bathroom. Let's go to the roof.
That was really sweet.
Let's just have a moment and talk about bro holes, which is, I love that term, by the way.
Yeah.
That is the best term created.
It was great. Although I do have to say, I loved the little detail of, like, every time Callie's phone vibrated, like, her coworkers would just, like, give her a glare. I'm like, I would get annoyed at that. Like, turn it to silent. You can still see the notifications, but I thought that was just really funny. Let's talk relationships, because we already have some sparks and some drama and some chemistry going on there. So Mariana is into Gael, who she calls her soon-to-be coworker and future boyfriend at the beginning of the episode. And, I mean, it seems like she's more into him than he is into her. Like, he seems like he's being nice, and she seems like she's coming on maybe a little strong.
A lot strong.
You know, we don't live together, at least not yet.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Mariana.
In front of everyone, like, table of, like, 20 people.
Do you think that there's a future for them?
There is no future. Okay, this is what I love about Mariana. Mariana is fun, and I feel like once she really is able to come into her own, it's gonna be like fire, like sparks, everything. But her maturity level, she's still acting like she's in high school. Like you can still see it. Because sometimes even when Callie, kind of just turns her down, like, this is what you always do, like, this is who you are, you can't be alone. And I just want to yell at, like, she can't be alone, she's a grown woman, she's a strong woman, she can do it. And then I see moments like this, I'm just like,
maybe she does need
maybe she needs
Yeah.
a keeper, I can see the advantages.
I also think Gael is just like too cool for school, and I don't see like her feisty, playful personality working out with that.
See, I think Mariana's the person that, like, cares so much, and so that's why I think that maybe he and Callie had a better sort of initial thing, because they are both the kind of, like, the cool people, you know what I mean?
Chill, hip.
Yes, they're much more similar personality-wise. So yeah, let's talk about that a little bit, because we got some steamy scenes in here. Not to sound like an 80-year-old woman, but, like, we got some steamy scenes in here. So they meet, like, up on the rooftop pool, and they, start talking about what they do, and he reveals that he's this graphic designer and this artist and this, mysterious guy with long hair. And they bang pretty much right away.
I mean, she took some advice.
She did. It was Mariana told her to do it.
Kate scored in the chat, said Brandon ended at the pool and Gael started at the pool.
Someone
and Gael
tweeted that, and I was like,
is hotter
Oh, man.
as bisexual. And I'm not going to lie, he actually is.
yeah, let's
Let's
go ahead and just talk about that, because that's kind of where we ended here. After we had the conversation, Callie kind of tells Mariana, look, I did have sex with him 2 times, but I won't ever do it again. And I like that Mariana was, like, didn't completely freak out, because I thought that she might, like, get way more dramatic about it than she did. And I'm glad that she didn't. I'm glad she kind of restrained herself a little. And they see him kissing another guy through the window, which... amazing. Like, I'm so ready for bisexual representation on this show.
And the fact that it's a bisexual man, because the
Yes.
stigma, there's even like a stigma of bisexual men out there. So I love the fact that they're tackling that and bringing it forth. But I'm sorry, I would have been like, Mariana, I forgive you. I kind of would be like, yo, get curtains, but don't get curtains.
He doesn't care. Like, he's like,
Yeah.
he's all about it. Like, he's so free and open. But yeah, we'll save that a little more for predictions, because I think they are going to touch on, his bisexuality and that a little bit more.
I feel like Callie always gets in these really, like, complicated relationships.
Of course.
Like, she's, like, with the guy who's also with another guy who Mariana also has a crush on, and then before she was with her foster brother who's not really her brother.
I mean,
like,
and that's a totally okay situation. We're not blood related whatsoever. I met you when I was like 15, 16. I am okay with this situation, okay?
Yeah. No, I still want Brandon to come back so bad.
Oh my
I can't
gosh,
get
you
over that.
guys. This is going to end the whole
I
show.
fully support that decision, guys.
What is their ship name? Brandon and
Rally.
Callie?
Oh,
Rally.
come on, Meagan.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding. But in the end, so we've had that ongoing drama about whether they're going to stay at the Coterie, whether they're going to get a 1-bedroom and Callie's going to sleep on the couch. And at the end, we had this very sweet moment where all of the, Coterie people, like the little Coterie posse, is sort of making their loft nicer and donating stuff. And I thought that was really sweet. And they decide to stay, of course.
Can I call my neighbors and get them to do
Right?
that?
Can I just
Yo.
pull
Like,
forward
these
that,
are
guys?
some nice people.
I just need money for my camera fund. If anybody wants to send that my way, neighbors, if you're watching, please send that my way.
But I really thought this was a very strong pilot that sort of, introduces to this world and these really compelling characters, and I'm really, really excited for more. Before we get into predictions, we have some awesome little goodies at the end of this episode for you guys.
Yes.
Our first is a special segment called This Girl is Dope.
This girl
Meagan.
is dope.
I
I'm
love
so
it.
excited. So I love that we're getting to see Mariana, a minority woman in STEM, killing it. And there are plenty of other women like her. Not as many as we'd like, but the numbers are growing, thankfully. So we want to highlight Rizwana Bashir. She's 35, and she's the CEO of Peak.com. So if you haven't heard of Peak.com, it's a website kind of similar to Hotels.com or like getting an Airbnb, except instead of booking a place to stay or a flight, you're booking an activity to do when you go to a new city. And she saw the gap for that. She created it. She's killing it. They have partnerships with Google. Apple's an investor. Peak app is on every single Apple phone that's in an Apple store, which is so crazy. And 35 is like relatively young to have that level of success. And what I also really love about her is she's diverse. She grew up in a British Pakistani community in the UK, and since becoming the like boss CEO that she is, she came out about being sexually abused as a child and said that she really wants to use her platform to show that these things happen and speak out about those issues and just make them more of an open conversation, which I think is really cool.
Wow, that is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Like, we just all need more role
love
models.
boss dope women.
This girl's boss. We are going to highlight a new boss girl every single week.
Yes.
So we can get some role models, guys. Like, and just a great community. We're going to build our own little coterie with you guys on this after show.
Absolutely.
And Meagan, you also have some great news for us, because this show is getting so much publicity.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So I am so excited to announce that a lot of our beloved favorite Foster's characters are going to be coming back in just a few episodes. As we've seen in a couple pictures shared on social, Jude is going to make a comeback. I love him so much. He's grown up a ton, especially when you think about the start of the Fosters.
Such a little baby.
So I'm excited to see where they'll take their storyline. We also heard them on the phone with their moms when they were talking about how they were doing in downtown LA. So I'm excited to see Steph and Lena come back. I love them. I'm excited to see what they think of the Coterie situation, because I feel like they're really not in the loop of where Callie and Mariana are actually living.
No.
Also, if you guys have been excited, if you have not heard, there will be a season 2 of Good Trouble.
Whoa, that's already?
It's already got picked up for a second season. It will be happening.
Oh my gosh, yes.
This
we have
show
so
is
much to look
already
forward
being
to.
called like one of the best shows of the year, predicted to be one of the best shows of the year. Vox is saying it's TV's first good Gen Z drama, which there's some debate about whether they're Gen Zers or millennials. I think they're kind of on the edge.
Yeah,
here.
22-ish is like really
But
on
as
the
far
cusp.
as the audience, I think definitely it's a Gen Z millennial audience who'll be drawn to this, and there's a lot of really relatable characters with good things to look up to.
Yes. Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
I love like the positive receptions that's getting, and the fact that we're gonna get a whole new season like already is just so nice, and I'm so excited to learn more about everyone. Let's take it into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, who wants to start us off here? There's so much we could predict about.
I know. Well, as I said before, I think Judge Wilson, something is going to happen to give him a change of heart in the Jamal case. I hope that it does. I think we're going to see more of a relationship maybe between Rebecca and Callie in the office. Yeah. I don't know if I can trust her, but I feel like I can, because I feel like her advice has been a little bit better. That's within Callie's world. With Mariana, I hope she keeps pushing the envelope in her office and breaking kind of the stereotype that's been set there.
Awesome, I agree. Those are very good predictions.
Yeah.
I definitely predict Gael and Callie are definitely going to do some more scenes, and they're going to be fun and hot, and I can't wait. We're definitely going to learn, I believe a little bit more about Malika and like how she became who she is, and maybe even meet some of her family as well, from a clip I saw on social media as well. That's my predictions. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome. I definitely agree with all of your points as well. I don't want to spoil like too much, but I know that bisexuality is going to be explored, and I know there's going to be some sort of drama there with Callie being like sort of on the fence of whether she's like comfortable with that. And I just want to point out that she and Jimena did have that kiss, in the last season of The Fosters. So I'm like, was thinking that maybe Callie was also going to identify as bisexual, but I don't know.
I forgot about that.
I hope that gets brought up too, because I really love that moment from The Fosters.
Let's tie up some of those plot holes from The Fosters.
Let's do it. Let's bring that in there. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. We're super low on time, but thank you guys so much for joining us this week. I'm so excited about the future of the show. I had so much fun talking about it with you ladies. Before next week, where can everyone find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Meagan Lynn TV. That's Meagan. I know I spell it weird.
You don't spell it weird. They just don't hear right. Hey guys, you can.
I like that.
I love it, right? I just thought of it. You guys can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram. Have such an amazing night. And guess what, guys? We're doing Marvel's Runaways again. I will let you know when those are going to air.
Awesome. And you guys can find me on Twitter at alphaba_and on Instagram at Taylor_Gates_. We'll see you guys next week. Get into some good trouble.
Yes.
Thank you guys for everybody in the chat as well.
Thank you.
Jasmine, Totally T, Kimmy, Kate.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.